Hi everyone, my name is Shawn. Today I'm going to be responding to Gabriella's claim that the usage of tablets in schools is causing negative effects on the minds of growing children. She has three secondary claims. Number one, tablets are creating barriers for students. Number two, tablets are an unreliable source for the student's education. And number three, tablets can create health issues. So looking at the first one, tablets are creating a barrier for students. In terms of evidence, there's a claim that Chicago Public schools report spending about $40 million per year on technology. However, there's no comparison to any other school districts, so you can't really tell how much money this is for a school district. Also, based on this fact, the advocate says that a poor district might not get the same quality of education that a richer one does, which makes sense. However, that implies that technology, aka tablets, in fact assist students in their education rather than create a barrier for it. Also, the advocate claims that Kensington did a study that revealed that one laptop is stolen every 53 seconds. However, there's no warrant to suggest that finding this means that tablets create a barrier for students. In terms of reasoning, there's a claim that classrooms are meant for social interaction, and that the problem with tablets is that they shift learning from a teacher to learning from technology. Despite owning a tablet, the instructor will still be listened to during lectures as they please because they have the authority. They can simply say to put the tablet on the ground. So tablets don't automatically mean social interaction will be void in classrooms. So my counterclaim to this is tablets provide a vast world of educational content for students. The internet and its endless supply of knowledge gives more options for students to learn from. Textbooks are restricted to their print, whereas tablets can provide videos, explanations, and descriptions that are often laid out a little bit more clearly. So as an example, as a college student, if we can't understand something from the book, we'll often go online and look at a different video lecture of some sort to help us in that learning process. According to Open Colleges, 81% of US teachers think tablets can enrich classroom learning, while 86% of students believe that tablets can help them to study more efficiently. And Oklahoma State University concluded that 75% of students agreed that the iPad enhanced their learning experience. Now to her secondary claim, tablets are an unreliable source for the student's education. As far as the evidence goes for this one, she lays out the evidence really clearly and it supports her claim. But I did have one issue with the reasoning. There's a claim that according to a primary school in South Dakota, the students are charged different fees up to $275 if they lose or damage the classroom tablet. So this claim shows that it may be expensive for students if they make a mistake with the tablet, but it doesn't necessarily mean that tablets are an unreliable source for students' education. And my counterclaim to this is that tablets are a useful source for the students' education. Damien Bebel, the assistant research professor at Boston College's Lynch School of Education, he's studied one-to-one computing in schools for more than a decade. Says touchscreen technology has allowed younger kids and earlier learners to interface with computers and digital resources in a way that previous technology was not always practical for. Now on to the third secondary claim, tablets can create health issues. So in terms of evidence, there's a claim that according to the Pew Research Survey, children are having a harder time communicating with one another and interacting, which can lead to antisocial behavior down the road. There's no link to tablets though in the survey, so it kind of undermines the claim that tablets create health issues. And then in terms of reasoning, there's a claim that the Chiropractic Association reports about 60% of tablet users report back pain from looking down at the tablet. However, both tablets and books either need to be held or put on a table in front of you, so I would argue that books cause the same amount of back and neck pain. This fact supports both, so what she said does support the secondary claim and the main claim if the topics weren't tablets versus textbooks, but that is the idea, so it undermines it for that reason. And then my counterclaim for this is that tablets can actually help reduce back pain for students. Pediatricians and chiropractors recommend that students carry less than 15% of their body weight in their backpacks. But the combined average weight of textbooks in history, math, science, and language arts often exceeds this in nearly all grades 1 through 12. And according to Medical Express, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission reported that during the 2011 to 2012 school year, more than 13,700 kids reported or were treated for backpack-related injuries, and their ages from 5 to 18. And these three reasons are why I believe that the claim can be strengthened. Thank you.
Okay, Shawn, I think you do a good job presenting a series of arguments on each of the points. It's a little too obviously that it's fitting into that template that I set up for you guys to, think of what possible answers are, because it really feels like you're going through the evidence, the reasoning, counterclaim, evidence, reasoning, counterclaim, evidence, reasoning, counterclaim, and that's not really the way that that's supposed to work. It's just supposed to be a prompt. But I think that you found evidence challenges on each point. I thought that you had reasoning challenges on each point, and I thought that you did come up with counterclaims on each point. So it's not that it hurts you; it feels a little bit mechanical. The cost issue, your explanation here does a little bit of a press, because we don't know what the total budgets are and how significant that is. I think that's true. The notion that they're equivocating technology with tablets. I think that you kind of challenged that on the reasoning point, and that's not necessarily the same thing. I thought that the counterclaim evidence was the better part of your argument here, and that is that there's a demonstration that the tablets do, in fact, having access to this kind of material enhances learning. The students think so, the teachers think so, and we've got a study that found similar results. Contrast that to the evidence that the advocate cited. That's what I think you need to do a little bit more of on that particular point. All right, on the second point, you've got some good evidence at the bottom that talks about how the touch screen has allowed kids to start learning earlier, to interact in ways that didn't exist before. I think that that's a potential benefit that outweighs some of the issues that the advocate is talking about here. I don't know what the reliability issues were that you were talking about. You seem to be conceding that particular point. I don't know what that gets the advocate, and I don't know what conceding it potentially does damage to you, because I don't remember what the argument was on that issue. The third issue, on the health issue, I think that you've got a reasonable assertion here that books would have the same sort of effect. It would be nice to point to some data on that. The counterclaim argument, I thought, was nicely developed there, which suggests that, of course, the books that you're carrying, they weigh a hell of a lot more. And I like the fact that you actually documented the number of injuries from backpacks that are overloaded. I thought that was a good point. The exit point doesn't sound like it's a contradiction to the advocate's claim. It simply sounds like it's a call for them to do additional research to prove their point. And I thought that you offered counterclaims on several of the points that undermine that idea. All right, thank you.